Welcome to TrekTrav. I am Trav. This is Ribbit. This is Star Trek Voyager, Heroes and Demons of Season 1, somewhere in the middle. And this is, I would say, an odd episode. So sit back, like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into this review.
I scratched my nose.
The episode is set around they're getting samples from a sun, and then Harry goes missing, and then they go onto a holodeck, Chakotay and Tuvok, and they're in a forest.
Yeah, they were trying to get energy.
Yeah.
And it's been a few episodes since I think the third episode that they've mentioned the energy reserve issues.
Yes.
Let's just point that out. It's been like 10 episodes.
But they only mention it at the beginning, and then it's never mentioned it again.
Yeah. Well, that's why they're looking at this weird energy source.
The weird cold opens they keep doing as well, which is just like, oh, we're at a different location. That makes you want to stick around. You know how Doctor Who, before the credits come on, there's like something really exciting happens. Star Trek Voyager doesn't do that.
No, they don't do the excitement stuff.
No. So
it's Voyager. You're gonna watch it.
Yeah. So after
enjoy your slot.
After the credits, they are in a forest, and they come along a Viking named Freya, who has a pointy Viking hat with no horns. Why is that significant?
Well, Vikings didn't have horns.
Yes, and apparently pointy hats are worn by females.
I think so. I think I read that somewhere. I wouldn't trust that one.
So they learn that there's Grendel, and they're in the Beowulf, I want to say, universe.
Yeah.
It's a game that Harry's playing.
Yeah, they're playing the story of Beowulf.
Yeah, and I've not read Beowulf. Have you read Beowulf?
No, but I remember the terrible movie with a bad CGI.
Yeah, I've seen the CGI. I've seen bits of the CGI movie. Chakotay and Tuvok go back to the castle. Freya takes them. They're lauded as heroes for wanting to fight Grendel. They learn
give vengeance to Beowulf.
Yes, because Beowulf has been killed. Beowulf is Harry.
Harry.
And Chakotay and Tuvok learn that he was taken by Grendel, and Grendel comes to them every night, and they are waiting. They're like, oh, okay, we'll scan. Hopefully Harry's not dead. They want to see Harry's body, but it's not there, so they don't know.
They're getting weird readings, though.
Yeah, you're getting weird readings, so they wait, and then all of a sudden, something coming. Janeway's like, oh my god, what's going on? They scan for a little bit, and then silence.
Yep, they're just gone.
They're just gone. Unfortunately, Neelix is still on the ship. Not in this episode. So they send the only person they think who can survive this situation. And actually, when I first put this episode on, I was like, oh, fuck, not this episode. And then I remember, and then as I'm watching it, I'm going, actually, this is quite good. Because
it's a good episode.
Not the Beowulf element, them getting the Doctor to go on kind of his first away mission.
Yeah. He has to go into the thing. They decide to give him the ability to go into the holodeck for number one, and also choose whether he can be touched or not.
Yeah, they can transfer him into the holodeck, and he can choose whether he's solid or can be not solid. But what I find funny about that is they say this sun and the creature in there has positronic energy.
Yeah.
Which is what the Doctor's made of anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm a little confused.
I think that's the reason why they're sending him in there, because he can't be converted into energy. That's their theory.
But they were like, oh, this energy might cause problems in our holodeck and our transporter. The holodeck uses energy.
He's also a computer program that's probably backed up.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, if he dies, he doesn't really die.
Yeah, he's backed up. Like, they just boot up another one.
The Doctor goes in there and comes across... What?
But first, Cass says that you should choose a name.
Yeah, I don't really care if he has a name. I know he doesn't have a name for 7 seasons, so that's not interesting.
But he chooses a name.
What does.
His name?
His name is Schweitzer.
Dr. Schweitzer.
Yeah, like I don't know why. I'm sure there's a famous Dr. Schweitzer somewhere.
Yeah.
So he introduces himself to Freya when he first gets in there as Schweitzer. But I like the moment when he gets like the tricorder and he's like smelling things. Although, can he smell things?
Well, you have to also remember this is his first time being out of the sickbay.
But can he touch and feel things?
Well, it's all holographic.
And taste it. Yeah, but
it's all holographic.
I don't know. There's a lot of questions I have around the Doctor's abilities in this.
Yeah.
Like if a human's eating that food, then it would taste like that food, but it's not actual food. But he doesn't have taste buds because he's a hologram.
But he may have been programmed with them.
Why would you program a holographic doctor with taste buds?
Why wouldn't you?
Because he's a doctor and he doesn't eat.
But why wouldn't you?
Because he's a doctor and wouldn't eat.
If you're going to put him into the holodeck, why wouldn't you just add that in?
Why would you go about it? Because he doesn't need to eat. He just needs to complete his mission.
But then he can enjoy the food.
So when he gets there, he's obviously enjoying being lauded as sort of a hero. And I like the way... So when Chakotay and Tuvok enter the story at the beginning, there's a very similar script of what all the characters say. So the king gets up, goes to his crown, goes, "Oh, we've been in woe, blah, 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 blah." And they pretty much play the same script, but in a more abridged version when the Doctor comes in. It's a very similar, and it gives that NPC sort of feel about it.
Yeah, it definitely does. They also, the Doctor ends up in a fight with who is he?
That was at the end.
No, at the beginning of the scene.
At the end?
No, at the beginning of this scene. He ends up
Who's
in
he
a fight with the guy who challenges him and doesn't think that he's that much of a warrior. And then he gets into a fight and he shows that he can't be touched.
He has to prove his fightiness. He eventually just goes, "I'm not going to fight with a sword," and lets the guy hit him, and the knife goes through him, which I did like just the simple effect of the light being pushed down. Then they believe him and they think he's a hero and he's amazing. The king takes a like to him.
Yeah.
All by calling them Schweitzer. The Doctor's loving every moment of it. You see him eating meat in earlier in the season.
Yeah, he has a big old chicken wing.
It made me hungry, to be fair.
So we ate.
It's really good seeing. I think this is the first time in this season where we've seen the Doctor sort of have not the humanity, but having sort of fun and being a bit sort of enjoying his time.
Yeah, there was definitely that. He was definitely enjoying his time, which is it's a bit different. And I think this early Doctor, he's different to even the later seasons. And
well, you'd hope so.
Well, not just that, but he's acting is different.
He's much more. He's more insecure about his behaviour. But he hides behind bravado and sickbay. But in this situation, he's genuinely nervous about going on an away mission.
Yeah.
And when he interacts with people, he sort of falls back to his Doctor stuff, but no one's really impressed by it.
Because they don't understand. Yeah. Because they're Danes.
Holograms. But he... What does he do? He goes to... Grendel comes later in that night when they finally fuck off.
But before that, he has a kiss with the Shield Maiden.
Oh, yes, with Freya.
Yeah.
I don't think I was in the room. I was making dinner.
He has a kiss with her, and she says, "Hey, if you want to get warm, come find me."
Does he have sex with her?
No, the monster. No, the monster shows up.
So
he's contemplating whether or not.
Grendel comes. Lots of flashy lights.
Yeah, tentacles,
light
tentacles.
Essentially, I don't know. Disappears the Doctor's hand.
Yeah, well, he freaks out when the thing grabs his arm, and he's like, "Emergency! Emergency! Ah!"
Yeah, and so they get him out of there, but his hand's gone.
His arm's gone. A good chunk. It's from there down.
Yeah, and they fix it, and it's done. He's a hologram.
Yeah, he's a hologram.
They don't care if he dies.
Don't let him know that, though.
Yeah, don't let him know. So once he's fixed, they realise... Well, Janeway sort of goes, "Well, you're the only one who can go in there." Oh, sorry. They realise that they need better scans because they're picking up these different patterns inside this energy, which is from the sun.
Yeah.
They realise that it's potentially the things that they beamed up from this sun were actually sentient.
Yeah, one of them escapes, starts breaking through the things. We don't see any footage of this, but it's apparently travelling through the ship.
And breaks through a bulkhead.
Yeah,
they have one more, don't they? And they basically go, "Or maybe we've accidentally kidnapped these sentient beings, so maybe we should give it back."
Yeah.
The only one who can do that is the Doctor, although he's in as much peril as anyone else. So I don't really get that.
Well, he's also a program, so it's like...
Yeah, they don't care.
Big whoop.
So he takes a beacon, which just looks like a lantern, back to imaginary Beowulf land.
Yep.
Comes across Freya again, and then the king's assistant.
Yeah, I don't know what
his name was.
Yeah.
But he basically accuses him for working with Grendel. They get into a sword fight, but at the last minute,
Freya's killed, and
Freya gets stabbed, and the Doctor's devastated because it's his first romantic date.
It's basically his first crush.
The guy nicks his little lantern thing, runs off.
Yep.
Back to the kingdom, and the Doctor's pissed.
Yep. He's blamed for Freya's death, which
the Doctor didn't dispute.
He didn't know.
I didn't.
Scared. He just scared the living daylights out of the other guy.
Yeah, but he so scared. Can I point out? There was two things happening. When Freya was fighting that other guy, instead of using her sword, she bit his hand. And I'm like, why? She's a Viking warrior, and they've treated her like a girl being kidnapped.
Yeah, Viking warriors are like that.
It was just a bit like, why?
Yeah.
It's like that scene from that Robin Hood episode in TNG where all of the men are fighting and Troy and Crusher are hitting guys over the heads with pots.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not the way it would work.
Yeah, it's not how Viking warriors would work.
And the Doctor does it in this scene, like he picks up a stick or he lights a stick on fire and walks up to this guy. It's a Viking warrior, and he's just like, "Oh, not fire!" Oh, which was silly.
Yeah.
I get that they had to get it over and done with quickly. He gets the fire out, but then moves his sword in. I really feel like a Viking warrior would have done more. Grendel, whatever the hell. The Doctor approaches Grendel, releases the little alien in the bodily thing. It flies to that creature, then the creature disappears. And then the Doctor smiles and something, and then they cuts to the bridge. They have an energy release from the holodeck, and then Tuvok, Chakotay, and Harry are all back. And Harry has no clue what's going on.
Yeah, he has no clue. He's just like, where have I been?
I got one scene this episode.
Yeah. So did Tom.
Yeah, but who cares?
Oh no, Tom got two.
He was just there anyway. It's like Cass got one scene, but she was kind of there. And we get a nice scene, I want to say probably the best scene in the episode, of the Captain talking to the Doctor about first contact and how she's proud of him. She's got to give him an award.
Yeah.
Which was, I think, it's the sort of the beginning of them treating him more human. He just had to save their lives and save the ship.
She asks about his name, and he says, "I've decided that's not my name."
Yes. It hurts me too much, the last time it was said. And I'm like, really? But we know he's just called the Doctor throughout the thing anyway.
He is the Doctor.
But overall, like, it was better than I thought it was going to be.
It's a good episode. It's just one of those episodes that I feel like...
the Beowulf stuff did not interest me really at all.
It's a quintessential episode, I feel like. I feel like it's an episode I've seen so many times.
Yeah, a little like that. A little bit like, oh, okay, this one. But the character stuff was really good.
Yeah.
And I liked some of the elements of the holodeck, but holodeck episodes have been done to death at that point.
And this is another episode with Chakotay and Tuvok together.
For 2 seconds before they disappear into a giant
having
glow
conversations and camaraderie.
Well, Tuvok says that...
Camaraderie.
Who says words wrong now? Tuvok tells Harry that... Tuvok tells Chakotay that when Freya gives the description of Beowulf, that's basically Harry. So Tom thinks Harry's attractive.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. It's a bit weird. But overall, not a hugely great episode, but really good character moments. I think that's where Voyager's strengths are, is just like little character moments.
Yeah, well, it's a character-based show.
I wish it was more of a good story, high action type show.
Yeah, kind of like the other review that we've done recently. May or may not be already up.
No, it's coming on Tuesday.
Damn.
And believe me, it has a lot of action, but very little substance. Make sure to keep an eye out for that. Ribbit Reviews Tuesday. But overall, thank you for watching. We've had at least 2 arguments during this video because we're both tired.
It was brilliant.
Also, he's very disappointed because he was rated most to look like Amy Farrah Fowler 2024. 100%. You can't unsee it now. Thank you very much. Have a good night.